What's up, everybody? Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Steph, also known as the Freckled One. I don't know what else is going to be in this vlog, but what I do know, and what you know by the title, is that I am having surgery. And my surgery is actually tomorrow because showering is going to be a little bit more difficult, and because my grays are happy and thriving, I figured I would dye my hair again and just talk to you about surgery and what's going on and what that looks like. So if that interests you, then keep on watching. Okay, really quickly before we get started, I wanted to show you a little hack that I've been doing since I was like 13 and started dyeing my hair. So I just have this big, like, kitchen tall trash bin sized trash bag, and I have a pair of scissors, and what I do to protect my clothes, because I don't necessarily have a shirt that I use to dye my hair, but I cut out a neck hole here and then 2 armholes, and that way this can just be disposed of. I don't risk dye getting on anything. Eventually I'll probably find a shirt that I don't care about and will use that instead. So this is my method, and I will show you how I do that. It's really simple. All right, and there you have my plastic bag shirt that I made. The arms are definitely a little bit off, but it really doesn't matter, and I'll show you what it looks like on. So here is the dye that I'm using. I'm using, what is this? Deep dark brown. I know that Garnier hasn't been a cruelty-free brand. I don't know if that's still true. Unfortunately, at my Walgreens, all the options are Revlon or L'Oreal, I believe, and none of those are cruelty-free. So if someone knows if Garnier is, please leave a comment down below. But I just wanted to make that disclaimer because everything on my channel is cruelty-free, but I don't know about this. And then I just make sure that I have a big butterfly clip handy because that's how I put up the hair after I'm done. I cut the hole too big. All right, I'm gonna change my shirt. I'll be right back. I'm back. If you're interested in box hair dyeing, just know that it's pretty, I don't know, damaging to your hair, but I'm not gonna film like the setup of that or anything. It's pretty simple. I am just having a very big turn up. The grays have showed up to the party. Maybe some of you know that I am getting married probably later this year, and so I'm growing my hair out. I cannot wait to cut it as soon as the wedding happens. I think I'm gonna go short and gray or silver because I would love to stop having to, I don't have to do any of this. I could leave it as is, and many people do, and I think that's awesome. I just don't know if I'm ready to embrace like how sparse the grays are. If I had like a rogue stripe, that would be amazing. But I want to kind of go full silver. I think that'd be super fun, and I've never done that before. I have been blonde, but I've never gone full silver. Here's some ASMR. So what surgery am I having? I'm having a laparoscopic ovarian cystectomy. Essentially, I have an ovarian cyst that is causing symptoms and discomfort. You know, tons of people have ovarian cysts and don't know it, and there's no issues with it. you know, unless it's like PCOS or something. A lot of ovarian cysts don't cause any symptoms. The only danger is when they get to a certain size, typically bigger than 5 centimeters, is when you have a increased risk for torsion. And what torsion is essentially the twisting or like flipping of the ovary, which would then cut off blood supply to the ovary. We don't want that. So I had the option of not having it taken out and trying other methods, just seeing if it goes away. But in the end, I decided to have surgery because it is causing me discomfort. I do have symptoms. Just to name a few, especially around my period, before and during, I am so ridiculously bloated that my clothes are having a hard time fitting. Another thing is, because it's big, and mine is bigger than 5 centimeters, something is pressing on my bladder. No, I'm not saying that it directly is putting pressure on my bladder, but because it is taking up space and it is a sizable cyst, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was indirectly putting pressure on my bladder. So I'm having it removed, and I'm having it removed tomorrow, which is why I'm dyeing my hair now, because I have a feeling, you know, it is an outpatient procedure, but I am going under general anesthesia. I can expect some soreness whenever you have surgery or a new piercing or a wound. Showering is a little bit more difficult. I don't want super chemically saturated water, such as, you know, rinsing my hair out after. I don't want any of that while I have an incision that's healing. That just seems like a burny situation. I've had procedures done where I've had to be on a sedative, but nothing like general anesthesia. To me, that feels more invasive than the actual procedure. I think it's absolutely fascinating to really think about where we go when we're under and how our body reacts to us being still present here, but our thought. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Okay, as you might probably notice, I'm doing primarily this part of my hair because the dye has been able to stick on the lower parts of my hair, but my hair is starting to lighten because this color is darker than my natural hair. My hair naturally kind of has this red undertone to it, and I typically go for more cooler tones when I get my hair done or when I dye it myself. I don't even know if you heard that story because these gloves are so loud. I'm sorry. So I'm just gonna finish this and we can keep talking later. Very important to wipe my skin after. See you in 25 minutes. Hello. I'm just on this pile of laundry. I did not film after I washed my hair yesterday, but my hair looks great. It's the morning of surgery. I'm honestly really excited. I'm not feeling super nervous. It's daunting to think that I can't drink any water, potentially, until 5 p.m. tonight. Yeah, I'm a little scatterbrained because I haven't had coffee and I didn't take my meds today. I also had to take my nose ring out, which I think is so silly. So I put a spacer in there, which is just kind of a clear piece of glass, which sounds even more dangerous. Ugh, it just doesn't make sense because what do they need that nostril for? If they need to apply oxygen in an emergency situation, they aren't going to use a nasal cannula. That's just not what's going to happen. And a nasal cannula will be fine in there. I complied. I'm not going to say which hospital I'm going to, but they have pretty strict policy regarding filming and taking pictures and any of that kind of stuff. So I'm 100% not going to bring this camera. But if I end up filming anything, you know, in a private room where you can't see any other patients' faces or healthcare personnel, then I will use my phone to record. Don't let him fool you. He is a very sweet kitty, but he acts like a spoiled Beverly Hills 12-year-old most of the time. But he's a sweet kitty. And he's old. You're a spoiled Beverly Hills 12-year-old, aren't you? And if you're a Beverly Hills 12-year-old, then I don't judge you. I still love you. All right, I'll check in with you in a little bit. Part of me feels silly even filming any of this, but here's my hospital essentials kit. Just putting everything in this very nonchalant tote. I have my carrying case for my Nintendo Switch, my chocolate wafer bar that I bought off a kid the other day. Might as well eat it, especially get some sugar after surgery. This is a ridiculously expensive chapstick. I'm not going to tell you how much it is, but it is the best. I've treated myself to it before. So I have this and then 2 moisturizers. This is the M Cosmetics like Cuddle Balm, which is great, and then my Dr. Jart sample. But because I'm going to be so dry and dehydrated after surgery, this is very important to me, especially because they tell you to not put like lotion on or anything like that, and my face is going to be dried out. I know it. My AirPods, my book, iPad, this really great small water bottle. It is tiny, and I put this in my purse all the time. So when they finally allow me to drink water again, I'm going to use that bad boy, and then my phone charger. But that's pretty much it. Alright, gonna get my IV soon. Can I get you more mashed potatoes? Some, what is that stuff called? Would you like some more meatloaf? Well, it's the last one I'm gonna make before I go in. And I'm here alone. I'm out. My mouth is incredibly dry. I feel great. I feel like $1,000,000. My nose is incredibly itchy from the anesthesia, but other than that, everything went well, and I'm just very thirsty. And I'm eating crackers, which is making me more thirsty. But I will update you when I get home. Hi. I'm back home officially. My fiance came to pick me up. Everything went really well. I am too tired to talk about it right now, and I have the day off tomorrow, so I'll fill you in a little bit more on everything, but everything went really well. I came home to just the sweetest surprise, which I will show you. Needless to say, I'm super hungry. The reason my voice sounds like this is because of the intubation tube, and I imagine that my voice will be like this for a couple of days, which is totally fine. Honestly, that is the worst part about this whole thing, which is fantastic. But look at this really sweet surprise that some of my best friends got me. Oh my gosh. This is literally all I could ask for. They also got Noah some too. Dinner already being ready and delivered just as we got home, and I am so excited. Sarah, Paige, and Jesse, thank you so much for this ramen dinner for us. This is literally all I could ever ask for, especially with how my throat's feeling. So thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is very early in the morning, but it's not unlike me to wake up this early, but it was definitely a bit harder to sleep last night. I am a stomach sleeper, and I know that's really not good for you, and I wish I wasn't, but I have been since I was a kid, and obviously sleeping on my stomach isn't really an option right now. I tried sleeping on my sides. My left side, which is where my cyst was not tolerable. I tried it, and it progressively just got painful. I slept on my right side a little bit, but even then I was primarily on my back, which I'm just so not used to, and I was probably snoring like a hibernating bear. And Noah, if you had to listen to that, I'm very sorry. As for the pain, and this is, less than 24 hours later, I have yet to take a Norco or ibuprofen, which is fantastic. I don't typically like taking pain medication. If I have a headache that's pretty intolerable and doesn't go away with water, that's typically the only time that I take a pain medication, but I'm so happy that I'm not in excruciating pain. So the incision pain itself and like that lower abdomen area, I would honestly rate a 2 out of 10. No, I would honestly do a 1 out of 10. It honestly doesn't, it just feels a little bit tender and achy, but honestly nothing compared to like menstrual cramps, which is so interesting. So when they do a laparoscopic procedure, they have to fill your abdomen with gas so that they're able to visualize what's in there and to see what they're working with. And it's pretty hard to do that if you are not filled with gas. And obviously they try and get all of the gas out at the end of the procedure, but sometimes, gas gets trapped, and that seems to be the most painful part, is just having gas trapped in your abdomen. Some people have reported that pain from some gas being trapped has like radiated up to their shoulder, which is kind of alarming for people that experience that, but luckily I'm not experiencing that right now, and hopefully I won't. But there's definitely some gas, like epigastric gas trapped, and I can only really feel it while I'm laying down, but it feels very weird. It's a sensation that I've never felt, but even then, that's seriously a 2 out of 10 on the pain scale. So something that they want to avoid at all costs after, oh, I had an eyelash there the whole time. Yay. Make a wish. Something that they want to avoid is a deep vein thrombosis, and it can happen after a procedure, much like this one, and it's essentially a blood clot that happens in one of your deep veins, typically in your legs. And so what they would like for you to do after this procedure and many other procedures is to move around. And so they recommend getting up and moving around at least 3 times today. But because I'm in such little pain, I actually think I'm just going to go on a walk since I'm up. So walk time. And then I'm going to come back and make a coffee, and it's going to be magical. So I'm going to shower. I'm super excited. It is still the day after, and you are allowed to shower, which is fantastic. You just can't scrub in the area. You can take off the bandages, but you have to leave the like steri strips, which are essentially holding my incisions closed, and those will either fall off naturally over time, or I'm allowed to take them off after about a week. All you are supposed to do is to let water kind of gently wash over the incisions and then gently pat them dry with a very clean towel. But I figured I would show you the incisions. If you are squeamish and don't want to see that, then don't watch the next few seconds. My belly's pretty swollen, but I just took the band-aid off of this one. So here is one incision that is held with a steri strip. It's just my belly button. Here's where my doctor marked here for the surgery. Here's another incision. And here's the other one. I'm pretty bloated and tender right now, but that's not terrible. All of this coloring is obviously the chlorhexidine. It's not my real tan because look how pale I am right now. What's up, everyone? I am going to end this vlog here because it is now post-op day 2. A funny story that I completely forgot that I didn't tell you. So, before you leave surgery, they make sure that you're able to use the bathroom and, well, at least urinate. And so I did. And, after an ovarian cystectomy, you do have some bleeding and a little discomfort or kind of irregularity with peeing. But I used the bathroom So I was allowed to go home, and it wasn't until that I was in traffic with Noah for about 30 to 40 minutes, and my bladder just, it filled very quickly, and there was a big accident off of La Cienega, kind of around the Baldwin Hills area in Los Angeles, and that was the most uncomfortable. You know, we were only 20 minutes away from home, but with the traffic, it would have been excruciating to have to wait and pee. And so, by the grace of the gods, I have no idea even why, but, you know, as I hop out of the car and need to pee on the side of the road, I look and Noah has a roll of glorious toilet paper in the back seat for some reason. That's kismet if I ever heard a kismet before. I wish I had him film this. And that was not pretty. Like, post-surgery pee after that procedure is like, it's messy, it is whatever. Maybe this is TMI for some of you, but I wanted to be real on here and give you truly exactly what it might be like if you or someone you know might have an ovarian cystectomy. I'm feeling pretty darn good. Unfortunately, I am getting my period. My menstrual cramps are pretty painful on their own, but with this surgery on top of that and just how like bloated I am and still filled with a little bit of the gas that's left over from the surgery, it's just very uncomfortable. But it's not uncomfortable enough for me to have to not go to work. So I'm really, really thankful for that. I am by no means at all giving any sort of medical advice. If you have any concerns, maybe you've had an ovarian cystectomy or you maybe think that you have an ovarian cyst, I urge you to speak to a healthcare provider. I'm simply here just to share my experience with you. Anyway, I'm so thankful for my experience and for my speedy recovery. I know that that's not true for a lot of folks. Anyway, friends and family, that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and don't forget to take care, be safe, and be kind. Bye.
Ryan Little.